Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Alisha. So today's video is a little bit different. I wanted to go ahead and give you guys an update on how I have been adjusting to motherhood. If you guys don't know, I recently had a baby girl. Her name is Valerie Lynn, and she is almost 3 whole months old. And it's crazy to see how fast time is flying. But I want to go ahead and give you guys an update on how I have been adjusting, how I managed to get through my first few months with my sanity, and just how I have been feeling. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. I don't want this video to be too long, but I definitely want to go ahead and give you guys just a quick update on how I personally have been doing. And then I will also be doing a baby update for Valerie very soon. So stay tuned for that. But first, let's jump right into the video. So like I mentioned earlier, I do have an almost 3-month-old baby girl. Valerie is absolutely amazing. She is like the perfect baby. She is just awesome, and I love that little girl so much. It's crazy to think that she was born literally like 3 months ago. It feels like just yesterday she was still in the womb, and now she is here and growing like a weed. Like when I tell y'all this girl is growing like crazy fast, she is. But I feel so blessed to be a mommy. I feel so lucky to be her mom, and I'm loving this whole motherhood thing. I honestly feel like it comes naturally to me, to be honest. Like I feel like I just naturally got the instinct to take care of a baby, how to, soothe my baby and things like that. I feel like it kind of came naturally. So I will say it didn't really take me much time to learn how to be a mom, especially when I first delivered her. I kind of like automatically took on the instinct of, breastfeeding, caring, loving, all that stuff. I kind of took that role on firsthand, and so far I have been loving every second of it. As far as health goes, I have been feeling absolutely amazing the past couple of months. The first few weeks are a little bit rough because of course our bodies are recuperating and trying to get adjusted to being baby free. But after those first, couple of weeks, I feel like I just feel like a whole new woman. I felt so much better after the first few weeks. I feel like myself again. The swelling was starting to go down, which thank God, you guys, my swelling was so bad. So whenever I started to notice it was going down, I could not be happier. But yeah, the swelling was going down. I started to feel a little bit lighter. I just started to feel good. And since then, I've been trying my best to stick to eating as healthy as possible. I feel like my diet made all of the difference. The first few weeks, you guys, I was eating terribly. Like, people were cooking for us. We were eating takeout 24/7. I was eating terribly. And then one day I was just like, you know what? I need to do better. Like, I was in such good shape before I got pregnant that I need to get back to that place in order for me to feel like myself completely. So I've started to eat healthier. I started to eat, a lot of protein, a lot of vegetables, healthy carb. I work out now. Surprise, I work out now. Once I hit that like 7-week mark, I officially decided that there were no more excuses. Even though I'm taking care of a newborn, I need to get back at it. So I work out at least like 4 days a week, and I have noticed a big difference in my body since then. I find the weight kind of sheds off a lot more whenever you're working out consistently rather than like once a week. Staying active, especially with the newborn, it's very easy to stay active. So of course, just staying active, and it's trying to be a healthier version of myself. Let's talk about breastfeeding. So as a first-time mom, I heard you guys nonstop about how important it is to breastfeed. Everybody had an opinion about breastfeeding. The nurses, the doctors, everybody had an opinion about breastfeeding, and it can get overwhelming, especially if you are having trouble. It can get so overwhelming. Whenever I had Valerie, she latched on perfectly. Breastfeeding was easy, but I never really produced any milk. Like, I always had a very low supply of breast milk. It was a struggle trying to get even like an ounce out, and of course babies grow, so over time an ounce does nothing. So you guys, I would try every single thing and nothing seemed to work. I went to lactation consultants, I talked to doctors, I literally did everything I could do to increase my milk supply, and nothing worked. So I started off by breastfeeding her and then also supplementing with formula, but after a while that just wasn't cutting it. She would be fussy like within the first like 5 minutes of breastfeeding because nothing was coming out. She was always hungry. I felt like I was forcing her to do something that she didn't want to do, and after about a month and a half of just trying everything possible, I just let it go. And I must say, you guys, that I felt an absolute relief whenever I stopped breastfeeding because I felt like it was so stressful. So many moms have great stories about how easy it is to breastfeed, how easy it is for them to pump, ounces and ounces of milk, and just how much of a breeze breastfeeding is. Whereas for me, I had a completely different story. It was so stressful, you guys, between pumping and nursing like every couple of hours, and nothing was happening. It became like overwhelming. And once I stopped breastfeeding, I felt a sense of relief. I knew my baby would be full. At the end of the day, a fed baby is always best, no matter if it's formula or breast milk. I just wanted her to be happy. I wanted her to be full. I wanted her to be a happy baby. And just switching over to formula, you guys, made Valerie so much happier. I felt like it was a great decision for the both of us, because I have one extremely happy baby who is developing and growing perfectly, and then there's me who feels much more confident now, just less stressed out, a lot happier, and I'm not walking around feeling overwhelmed every couple of hours trying to pump, trying to nurse, and all that good stuff. Sleep, you guys, is always like one of the big things that people fear about becoming a parent, because having a newborn means losing sleep, and it definitely happens. But I will tell you, it definitely gets better. The first couple of weeks I got about like 4 or so hours of sleep, so about 6 to 8 hours of sleep now. We wake up feeling refreshed, feeling a lot better, and overall this has gotten so much better. So it definitely has progressed over time with a couple of setbacks, but overall our sleeping schedule with her has worked out pretty well. We don't have a set schedule with her yet, no like napping schedule and things like that, because she still is so young, and her naps are so random. They're so random. When she gets tired, it's so random. So we haven't gotten her on a schedule yet, but we have decided that once she hits the 3-month mark in a couple of days, we're gonna start trying to implement a schedule. So that way when she moves to her crib, it's a lot smoother, instead of just going from like no schedule to a schedule in a crib. Like, it's just too much at one time for a newborn. So no schedule yet, but it is coming very, very soon. I feel like one thing that I struggled with at the very beginning of being a new mom is finding balance. It is so hard to find balance whenever you are having to stay on your toes every second of the day with a newborn. Fortunately, Valerie wasn't very clingy to me, so she would always be able to, go to her dad, or if we had company over, she could go to them for a couple of hours. So fortunately, she wasn't very clingy, but for me, it was still hard to find balance, because of course I had to take care of her, make sure the house is still at least decently clean, have dinner ready, just so much stuff that I had to make sure I accomplished, get work done, tend to emails, all that good stuff. And it was so hard to find balance, because of course all you want to do whenever your baby is sleeping is to sleep. And it can be so hard, but I feel like it took a while for me to finally find a balance and figuring out how to get rest, but also getting stuff accomplished during the day as well. I feel like I finally gotten to a point where I've gotten a handle on, how to be a mom, but also be a working mom. During the day, my husband and I will switch off and on who will take care of Valerie for the most part. So for a couple of hours a day, I will get time to just focus on me, focus on work and things like that. And then I will take over and I will watch Valerie, and he can get stuff done. And that way we are both being productive and both getting stuff done. I feel like finding balance and utilizing your spouse is so important, because if all you're doing is just, sleeping and taking care of a baby, you can get a little bit stir crazy. I will admit that I did have a fear of like my marriage kind of going to the wayside whenever I had a newborn. I'm sure a lot of moms feel that way. I was scared that whenever Valerie came into the picture, I would be so focused on and taking care of her, I would accidentally neglect my husband. I would feel like it was so important for me to make sure my husband didn't feel neglected as well. So I have made it my job to make sure that Cortez feels just as loved as he did before we had Valerie. I feel like our marriage is even stronger now, because we both put in the effort to make sure that we're both happy. So no matter what, we try to find ways to go on date nights, cook together, do things together, so that way we are still having that one-on-one time, even if that means bringing Valerie along, because of course she's a newborn and it's really hard to get a babysitter when she's so young. But in the end, we do make the time and the effort just to make sure that we are both happy, because at the end of the day, Valerie can sense that, and we don't want for her to be raised in a an unloving, unhappy home. We want for her to see two happy and loving parents that are genuinely happily married. So I feel like, you guys, marriage has been amazing. Like, I was so scared at the beginning that our marriage would kind of go like a little bit sour, but thank God, you guys, we have both like put in the work and it is working. Stronger than ever. We are about to actually make our 2-year anniversary. So if I could give any advice to a first time mom, it's definitely to keep your marriage like number one, because at the end of the day, they're your support system. They are going to help you raise your baby. So keep your husband first, and everything, of course, will follow after that. Aside from just feeling awesome and just feeling like, you know, healthier and happier, I have learned, you guys, to trust my own instincts and do whatever I feel is best for my baby. I feel like everybody, you guys, has an opinion, especially to first time moms, about how to raise their baby, how to dress your baby, how to take care of your baby, how to feed your baby. Everyone has an opinion, and Cortez and I got to a point where we just said, you know what, forget it. Like, forget everybody's advice. Whatever we feel is best for our baby, we are going to do just that. When I tell you guys, it is so stressful having a million opinions thrown at you. It is crazy. We had just got so overwhelmed with all the advice that our parents are telling us, our friends are telling us. Like, everyone was giving us an opinion, and many times the opinions are like the opposite of one another. So we have learned to kind of ignore unsolicited advice, especially from people who aren't even parents. Seriously, the most annoying thing ever is getting advice from people who aren't even parents. You guys, it can drive you crazy. So we have just gotten to a point where we're just like, you know what? If we didn't ask you for your advice, we don't want to hear it. We got this. We know our baby. We know Valerie very well, so we know what's best for her. And our instincts are always on the top what other people say. I think the key for me of what has gotten me through the past few months is staying positive. It can be so scary going into motherhood, not knowing what to expect, especially being a first-time mom. I was definitely that person that kind of like was scared at the beginning because I didn't know what to expect. But one thing I always knew was that I was always going to be positive about every situation. I feel like your outlook will determine, you know, the end result. So if I thought negative, I would have a negative experience. So I always knew that I wanted to be positive about everything. Always think positive, and I feel like that's what helped me make it through these first few months. Because at the end of the day, being a mom is a blessing. In my personal opinion, it is a huge blessing. I don't take it lightly. I don't take it for granted. So I've always wanted to have a positive experience being a mom. And with that comes having a positive mindset. So I have thought positively about being a mom and taking care of Valerie and going day by day as a positive thing. And it has definitely lifted my spirits. It has definitely made me a lot happier. I'm never in a grouchy mood. I'm never cranky. I'm always happy because I want to be here. I want to raise her right, and I want to be there for her every step of the way. That is it for my quick update on how I have been adjusting to motherhood and what I have been doing to kind of survive through the first couple of months. Being a mom, you guys, has been absolutely amazing. Like, I have loved being a mom to Valerie Lynn. She is so awesome. Being a mom is definitely challenging, but it's totally worth it, and you can definitely accomplish all your goals along with being a mom and having a family. So it's awesome. I love having my jobs and also being a mom and being a wife. It's amazing, and I feel so accomplished being able to balance all these different hats. So if you are struggling with trying to get through your first, you know, couple of months or your first couple of weeks, no, it gets better. It gets so much better. I'm feeling like way better than I did the first couple of weeks. So yes, it gets better. I keep pushing through. I have to remind myself that it's only temporary. It gets better. So just push through it, stay positive, and everything else will fall into place. So hope you guys enjoyed today's quick little update on how I have been adjusting to motherhood. If you enjoyed today's video, give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you all in the next video. Bye, guys.